Let's keep going with the history wall from the 1150s. We'll go up here to the top. The University of Timbuktu is found in North Africa by the Berbers of Mali. That's how old that university is, which is pretty crazy. This is also the second era of the Mayan civilization, so that's been going on for a long time. The first use of alcohol as a medicine, OH is the chemical symbol, but it's interesting that that is actually kind of late for that to start happening. In other drug news, Moses Maimonides, also known as the Great Eagle, just this great Jewish thinker, he came up with a glossary of drug names that is fascinating for anybody into drug history. And then in the Norse part of the world, the Elder Edda is collected. And that's some of the most important of the old tales of the Norse gods. And in Ireland, you have the first professional bards. Your living, I've spelled professional wrong. Your living is just going around singing songs and telling tales. It just sounds great. I would love if I could do that. I guess that's what would happen here if my dreams came true, but they probably won't. And just my kids are going to watch these videos 30 years from now. Paris develops into a modern capital, which again is a long time for it to be a modern capital. In Germany, the Nibelunge, however you say it, but the first heroic German epic, and that's the story of Siegfried and Brunhild, which just goes on to influence so much of Germanic history and how that country views itself. In other news, engagement rings become fashionable for the first time. And then, one more other thing of tech is first windmills of EU with vertical sails, which is just a giant piece of technology for people who had to, grind corn by hand. But what really matters to me is the Kabbalah begins in Southern Europe. This is a very important system to me. The Tree of Life is one of the ways I view the universe. And I think it probably has something to do with all the hardships that were happening for the Jewish people at this time. They were banished from France. They were massacred at the coronation of Richard I. And unfortunately, at times of great terror and horror is often when some of the greatest intellectual and artistic achievements happen. I think that's why the United States produces such great art. It's because it's such a shithole to live in. And in that realm of magic / politics, the Knights Templar are founded in London, and the Third Crusade begins. And Richard I goes on that, and then gets captured on the way back. And the last person I want to mention who's just fantastic and worth looking up is Saladin. He was the first sultan of Syria and Egypt. He drove out those damn crusaders. And then for the last part of his life, he gave away almost all of his wealth and just lived a simple life. One of those stories like, oh, that's how you could do life right. And so that is the story of the 1150s.